This video is the third in a series discussing pricing strategies that a firm may be able to employ when it has market power to capture more producer surplus. A firm has market power if to sell more, it must lower its price. Recall that a perfectly competitive firm will lose all of its customers if it raises its price by just a little bit. The firm with market power has some control over price, so it will probably not lose all of its customers with a reasonable price increase. A two-part tariff pricing strategy is when the firm charges a lump sum access fee for the right to buy as many units of the good as the consumer wants at a per unit price. The lump sum fee is often a membership fee. For instance, Costco or Sam's Club charges an annual membership fee. The per unit price is the price you pay for the actual products. Amazon Prime is also an example of an access fee that gives you access to special shipping and other deals. Sometimes the per unit price that is charged is zero. For instance, Rocks and Ropes Climbing Gym in Tucson, Arizona will charge members a monthly access fee, after which the per unit price each visit is zero. A golf club may charge an annual lump sum access fee or membership and then charge a per unit price for equipment, food, and drinks, but not for the actual visits. The point of deviating from the single price model is to increase producer surplus by capturing more consumer surplus. To understand the effects of a two-part tariff pricing strategy, it is important to remember that consumers make their decisions at the margin. That is, they weigh the additional benefits and the additional costs of a decision. For this reason, sunk costs are irrelevant to decision-making. With this in mind, consider Anne's decisions in regard to her participation in a fitness club. This demand curve shows her annual demand for fitness club visits. This is not a market demand curve. It is just Anne's. If the fitness club charges a per unit price equal to its marginal cost, how many times will Anne attend the fitness club in a year? It is pretty easy to read the graph. If the price is $10, she will consume 75 visits. The demand curve represents her willingness to pay for a marginal or additional visit. As long as her marginal willingness to pay is greater than or equal to $10, she keeps on visiting. Thus, she stops at 75 visits. What will be her consumer surplus? This is the area below the demand curve and above the price, which is 1/2 times height times base. That is $1,125. This is what visiting the fitness club over a year is worth to Anne. What will be the firm's producer surplus? That is the area below price and above marginal cost, which is zero. Now suppose the firm decides to charge an annual membership fee of $1,125 in addition to the per unit fee of $10. How many times will Anne attend the fitness club? Once the membership fee is paid, this is a sunk cost. As Anne decides whether or not to visit the fitness club, the $1,125 access fee is not part of the marginal or additional cost of another visit. As she evaluates whether or not to make another visit, she'll weigh her marginal willingness to pay, as shown by the demand curve, with the price she has to pay, which is $10 per visit. As long as her marginal willingness to pay exceeds or is equal to the price, she will keep visiting. Thus, she will visit the club 75 times during the year, the same as she did before. This is because the access fee did not change her marginal benefit and marginal cost of visiting. Once she paid the membership fee, it was sunk and became irrelevant to her decision-making. Now, what will be Anne's consumer surplus? If she was not charged the $1,125 access fee, her consumer surplus would be $1,125. But now she is charged an access fee of $1,125, so her entire consumer surplus is captured by the access fee. So her consumer surplus is zero. Each year, her membership is worth $1,125. When you pay exactly what something is worth to you, you are left with no consumer surplus. What will be the firm's producer surplus? It will be $1,125. The firm captured all of Anne's consumer surplus. So we will now color the triangle that was consumer surplus blue for producer surplus. The point of an access fee is to transfer surplus from the consumer to the producer. Generally, the access fee will not capture all of the consumer surplus. An access fee of $1,000 would have left Anne with $125 of consumer surplus. If the club had charged Anne an access fee over $1,125, she would no longer purchase a membership at all. Suppose there are two consumers for a monopolist product. At the current price, both consumers have a consumer surplus of $100. By how much could a firm increase profits by using two-part tariff pricing? Since both of these consumers have a consumer surplus of $100, the most the firm could charge them is $100 each. This would leave both consumers with no consumer surplus or indifferent between purchasing the product or not. So the most the firm could increase its profits by is $200. Suppose there are two consumers, Jack and Diane. At the current price, Jack's consumer surplus is $100 and Diane's is $150. What is the most the firm could increase its profits by using two-part tariff pricing? This problem is a little more realistic than the previous one because now the consumers have different consumer surplus. If the firm charges an access fee of $150, then only Diane will purchase the membership, increasing the profits by $150. If the firm charges an access fee of $100, then both Jack and Diane will purchase a membership. This will increase profits by $200. When considering different access fees, it is important to realize that as you increase your access fee, you may lose some consumers. How this impacts profits depends on the situation.